Hi guys, so I wanted to continue on with the series of teaching your teen how to drive here in California because it is a new stage in life for me and my husband, and I've had to learn some things on my own. I never went over um, the very beginning stages. So in the very beginning stages, if your teen is 15 years old, and again, these requirements are here in California, it could change depending on what state you're in. But in the very beginning, you will need to have driver's education. And after you pass that class, they give you a pink slip. They give your teen a pink slip. And after that pink slip enables your teen to be able to apply for a driver's permit. In order for them to apply for a driver's permit, they need to be 15 and a half years old. Not 15 years old, not the day they turn 15, but no, 15 plus 6 months, 15 and a half years old. And the half is a big thing because they will ask you, how old are you? They'll ask your teen. And if they say only 15, not 15 and a half, then they'll say come back when you're 15 and a half. So anyway, so once you get your pink slip, then you can go into the DMV website and then you can find an application for a driver's permit. And then your teen will have to fill that out. You can help them, of course, but then there's also other things that you have to bring along, like your birth certificate, social security card, proof of residence, because they're basically giving you a temporary ID as well. They're already going to fill out the information for when your teen gets a driver's license. And so you have to get all those things together. Okay, then your teen is going to be taking a test at the DMV. Once they pass that test, then they are rewarded their permit. Once they get a permit, they are required 50 hours behind the wheel of practice. So 40 hours of day driving and 10 hours of night driving. 6 hours of that has to be with a professional driver. So after my daughter got her permit, I researched driving schools. I researched different driving schools in my area, and then when I picked one, then I scheduled her very first behind the wheel, 2-hour behind the wheel with the instructor. Because the thing is, their permit is not valid until the driver instructor, behind the wheel driver instructor, signs off on it after they get their first 2 hours behind the wheel with the instructor. Then you're allowed to take your teen, once they validate the permit after their first 2 hours behind the wheel, then you are able to take your teen out legally onto the streets. And the thing is that, like I said in a previous video, my very first video, those 50 hours of practice, if only 6 of them you pay the professional driver instructor, the 44 hours is on you. And that's what a couple, my first and second videos were on, about how I am sectioning it off in levels for my daughter. Because as you know, if you can remember back to when you first started, it is very nerve-wracking, even as a teacher, even as a parent of the child. If you're not a professional driving instructor, it's like, oh, what are you supposed to do? But that's on you. 44 of those hours is on you, unless you're a rich person and you can pay, like, per hour for a professional to take out your child, it's over $100, at least where I live. And so unless you're willing to drop $5,000 for the instructor to do everything, then it's on you. And so that's what my other videos where it started, about you taking your kid out and you getting that confidence. And like I mentioned before, I prayed a lot to the Lord. I always pray. But it's also a big release of control when you start teaching your kid how to drive. And so yeah, that I didn't get to talk about the very beginning stages. And then after, so they get a year. Their permit is valid for a whole year. So you have to get those 50 hours of driving practice with your teen in before that year, or else their permit will expire and they'll have to reapply for their permit, take the test again. But you don't have to redo all those hours. But still, it's like try to get to that goal. And the thing is that, for example, if you want to get it done in 6 months, that's basically 2 hours a week of driving with your teen. In the beginning, you know, they may be a bit scared, so it might not take 6 hours. If your teen is excited, then they'll get it done, but they have to hold their permit for 6 months before they can take the test. And so once they complete all those hours, then they're able to take the test, and Lord willing, the teen passes the test. But after they get their actual driver's license, they still cannot bring their friends with them for a whole year. They're allowed to drive their siblings around, but I believe they can only drive other people around who are at least 25 or 26 years old in the car, not their friends. I personally love that requirement because it makes sure they get enough practice. It makes sure that they're not bringing other teens with them in the car when they're still a new driver, still a new licensed driver. And so I wanted to share with any of you parents out there, especially if you live in California, about the requirements, because this is a new stage in life. Like I said, for my husband and I have another daughter who's going to be eligible to drive next year, so I can't believe that. But then at least I know what to expect going into it. And I hope this helps you too, if you're in that stage or coming up to that stage of a teen driver. All right, thanks guys for listening to this video through the whole thing. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks, bye.